Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. How are you all doing? Um, right, I watched earlier today. I watched G-Man's sort of weekly roundup. G-Man, big shout out to G-Man as always. He's helped this channel a lot, so big respect to him. A good guy, G-Man. Go and give him a sub if you haven't already. Although you probably already know about his channel. But during his weekly roundup, he mentioned MMA and UFC and how he's sort of getting into it, but he's very much a casual. Well, I'm definitely a casual when it comes to MMA, UFC, and all the rest of it, Bellator, all that stuff. I don't even know the names of the fighters, a lot of them, but just occasionally I will watch it. It's not because I dislike it; it's just because I don't know anything about it. I don't really follow it. It's I've got great respect for the fighters. My God, they're tough. But boxing's my thing. It always has been. So MMA is a sort of little, side chick. Not even that really. Just more of a casual one night stand occasionally. But strangely enough, yesterday evening I was sort of perusing YouTube and something popped up. You know when they make suggestions, and it was a Holly Holm fight. And the video had a title, something along the lines of "Spectacular Knockout" or something. And I just thought, okay, I'll watch this. So I watched it, and yeah, it was an incredible knockout. Holly Holm, I think it was a kick to the jaw, which put the girl flat on her back, and then Holly jumps on her, and the ref jumps in, thank God, because Holly's pounding this comatose girl virtually. Um, but yeah, then I thought, okay, let's have a look at Holly Holm's record, and I think she's got about 9 losses on her record, and I don't know about the other girl. I didn't look at the other girl, but I remember Holly when she beat Ronda Rousey. That was Rousey's first defeat, and then who did she? Misha Tate, I think, beat her in her first defence. I think she lost to Misha Tate, and she also got beaten up, and I mean beaten up by Cyborg. I think that's her name, Brazilian fighter. And then she got done in a round, knocked out by a kick, actually, against Amanda Nunes. Now, Amanda Nunes is, I think I'm right in saying, widely considered the best UFC female fighter ever, or one of the best MMA fighters ever. Okay? And, okay, fair enough, that's good. But if you look at her record, she's got 23 wins. This is UFC, I think. 23 wins and 5 defeats. In fact, 3 fights ago, she got choked out, is that the phrase? By a girl with a 12-5 record. And then she came back and won the rematch, I think. Was it? This is how much of a casual I am. I'm trying to remember watching these fights. She got done in the first fight, and that was a tap out. So she quit. In boxing terms, the cardinal sin of quitting. And then I think she came back and she won the rematch. But no one cares that she's got that defeat. It's not like Joshua getting knocked out by Andy Ruiz, and then he comes back and he wins on points. And people are like, yeah, but you lost to Andy Ruiz. I don't even remember the rematch. And then, she lost to a girl with a 12-5 record, and yet this is the greatest female MMA fighter ever, or one of them anyway. And Nunes, with 5 defeats on her record, I mean, how many, 23-5 record at UFC, she's lost 5 times. There's no cult of the O in this sport. They don't care about losses, right? And then I thought, let's go and have a look at a few other names that I know. And I'm a total casual. I don't really know what the hell I'm looking at. But I thought, well, let's start with Francis Ngannou, this great, threat that Tyson Fury's been talking about, which is why he's having this sort of circus exhibition with him. you know, this man mountain, this absolute killer. His record in UFC is 17 wins and 3 defeats. He's got 3 defeats on his record. What are we going to do? You know, is it worth watching him with 3 defeats on his record? And then I thought, Nate Diaz, who fought Jake Paul, wasn't it, recently, and got beaten on points. His UFC record is 22 wins and 13 defeats. God, this is Derek Chisora level. Oh my God, he's a journeyman. He's nothing more, you know. And then I thought, okay, again, I don't really know the names much of these fighters. And I can't emphasise how much of a casual I am. But Anderson Silva is a name I've heard as a great fighter, middleweight I think he is. And I thought, let's have a look at his record then. Another great UFC fighter. 34 wins, but 11 defeats. 11 defeats. Right. Now look, you get the message. You get the point I'm making here. And this is something that you will know that I absolutely hate the cult of the undefeated fighter. This undefeated record, you know, I must preserve my O. Well, actually, O is a letter. The thing you're looking for is 0, all right? I must protect my undefeated record. It's a cult that's developed probably since Floyd Mayweather wanted to beat Marciano's record and did it by beating another UFC fighter, Conor McGregor, who was having his boxing debut. Look, I hate this idea that you have to be undefeated, that losses are a stain, a tattoo on your face you can never get rid of. If you fight the best, you will collect losses, right? But if everyone fights everyone else, despite the losses, people will come to watch it. Why? Because it's exciting. Because you don't know who's going to win. And okay, the UFC model will not fit into boxing, not the UFC model. But we need something that, we basically need to bin this idea that losses define careers. You understand what I mean? Because they quite clearly don't. As I've said before, if you go back 60, 70 years, certainly 80 years, if you had an undefeated record, the immediate reaction of boxing fans, we're not about boxing now, the immediate reaction of boxing fans would be, you've got an undefeated record. Well, you can't have fought anyone. No one goes, I mean, obviously you're going to lose once or twice if you fight anyone decent. Undefeated record. They wouldn't be impressed. In fact, they'd immediately question it. For that reason, they'd say, well, you can't have fought anyone. You know, who you fight if you're undefeated? That is a far healthier attitude to have if you're a boxing fan. Because although UFC is, you know, a purely in-house concept, and, you know, the fighters get paid, from what I understand, they don't get paid particularly well. It's all a bit of a dictatorship with Matey at the top. What's his name? I've forgotten his name now. Dana White. And this is why, you know, Ngannou has to come to boxing to make huge money. Why Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather for astronomical money. All of this stuff is relevant. You can't dismiss that side of it. But if boxing can change its mentality, can change its psyche, can change its ethos to the point where it says, do you know what, I don't care about defeats. Just get in the ring and fight. You know, we've seen the damage that this cult of the undefeated fighter can cause with none other than Tyson Fury, who isn't scared of any other fighter, but he is scared. In fact, he's petrified of losing that 0, that undefeated record, because he knows that if he does that, suddenly he's going to be thought of as less of a fighter, because that's the mentality that boxing fans have. In UFC, yeah, you take a defeat, you take a step back. No one says it's a good thing, but it doesn't define your career. Do you know what I mean? And we've got to, in boxing, we've got to revamp our attitude towards the best fighting the best. If you fight the best all the time, you're going to pick up defeats or draws at the very least, and you're going to have a record that statistically looks patchy or may look patchy. Some fighters will go, they will have long periods of undefeated, like Amanda Nunes did. You know, Amanda Nunes was, before she lost to that girl, I can't remember her name, the one that she won the rematch with, the 12-5 girl. She'd gone on this knockout streak. She'd knocked out Chris Cyborg in a round. She'd done Ronda Rousey in a round, Holly Holm. Go and look at her against Chris Cyborg. Chris Cyborg was a killer. She hadn't lost for years. And Amanda Nunes smashed her up, and I mean smashed her up in less than a minute. Incredible fight. Entertainment. If it's entertaining, people will buy it. They will go for it. They will support it. You know, and we'll also, if the best fight's the best, and we get this attitude, if we get a reconsidered attitude of people are going to lose sometimes, then you also throw out this idea that boxers are somehow cowards if they take a knee or whatever. Yes, you've got to have heart in boxing or any combat sport. Yes, you've got to walk through the pain barrier. That's relevant as well. But we go too far the other way. You know, any kind of quitting, whether you've got a busted eye socket or a broken jaw or whatever, any type of quitting is considered, you know, absolute anathema to what a boxer is supposed to be. Basically, this is stuff we can learn from UFC. A reconsidered attitude where we probably respect boxers more, will respect boxers more, because they're fighting each other, you know. So, yeah, those are just a few thoughts on what we can learn, I suppose, from UFC. Give me your opinions. I know UFC is different. I know from a business point of view it's different to boxing, certainly. And you couldn't just transfer the business model to boxing. When all is said and done, boxers at the very top, make astronomical amounts of money. Most boxers have to have a job. So there's no such thing as trickle-down economics. One of the most stupid lies that's ever been peddled is that, you know, if you feed the people at the very top, their great wealth will trickle down, you know. Absolute bullshit. Complete crap. And I'm not just talking about boxing. But the money is still in boxing. The very best of UFC have to step over to boxing to make money. What we need to learn from UFC is more how we view fighters and how we view losses and how we view the idea that fighters are human beings putting their lives on the line. Occasionally they will tap out. Anyway, leave your comments below. Tell me what you think. The sun's zooming in, blinding me again. I've got to move this desk. Anyway, give me your comments below. What do you think? Have I missed anything out? Do you think there's anything else that could be said about UFC that boxing could learn? Do you like UFC? Are you more than me, a pure casual? G-Man said he's a casual as well, so I'm in good company. But hey, you know, tell me what you think. Comments below, I'll read them. Thank you as always for your time. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the like button, because as I keep saying, they count the likes. Do I know why? Not really, but hit the like button anyway. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.